jetpacks, or Amazon with their drones that potentially. Can you imagine if Amazon? That would be nuts. If you're just you know how many drones would be in the sky?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Amazon delivery people that have their jetpacks and they just like float to your front door and
they just have satchels like Santa. And that's how they deliver stuff now. Not drones. Amazon people on jetpacks. That would be sick.
I think that'd be so sick. Although, like, you look out your window and it's just like a face like going down.
Before I go into this, I feel like I need to give a little context behind it. This was a conversation that was being had on another podcast, and I thought it was a really funny way to start this episode off. If you had to have a conversation, let's say with someone intimidating like The Rock, so you're having a conversation with The Rock, and you want to kind of disarm him quickly or kind of bring him down to a very like less intimidating person and like humanize him just immediately, what would be a good question to ask him that's not inappropriate, but would immediately just kind of make him giggle or smile and be like, why are you asking me that? And the question would be, are you ticklish? Because you imagine you go up to The Rock, one of the most intimidating people, and be like, hey, are you ticklish? And you'd be like, why are you about to tickle me? Like, that's one of the first things also if you're in front of someone. So Cole, are you ticklish?
Of course I am.
Everyone's ticklish, right?
You're a psychopath if you're not. Like, imagine like just getting in there under someone's armpit and they just don't move. Stone cold. Scariest person. What do you think, Putin? You think Putin's ticklish? He's got to be ticklish. Probably. Could you imagine you tickle Putin? Just start tickling Putin. Yeah. And I also had this thought too. I wonder if in the rule book for UFC, is there a rule that you can't tickle people? Could you imagine you're just like like that'd be funny.
And you just get them in a tickle fit. Like, cause when you're in a tickle fit, you can't really get out of it. Like someone's like really getting you going. It's like, stop. Unless you hit them.
Well, I feel like at that level of like adrenaline, tickling does not hit the same as like when it's just you're normal.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he starts tickling you and you just punch him in the face.
It's game over. Just like, all right.
I mean, okay. How do you react when you're getting tickled? Are you an aggressive person back, or are you just kind of like taking it?
It's like I'm like a pet peeve.
Or are you kicking and screaming?
I can't stand it. I immediately I want to fight the person. Yes, no, I don't like it. No.
I think another disarming tactic. It's not even like a question though. It's you just picture the person when they're asleep at night. Because everyone is just everyone sleeps and they all look peaceful. Everyone looks peaceful when they're sleeping, as long as they're not thrashing. But like, can you imagine The Rock asleep? He's the most calm, quiet person.
Just juiced up on steroids. And no, I'm just kidding. Talked about that in a previous episode. Won't get into that here. Okay. This is the week that the project is launching. So everyone will be getting their cards, and I'll have this posted as well. But I've showed Cole this last night. And if you're just listening, you have no clue what I'm showing. I'm showing this card and this, what I call these original ideas. So essentially next week for us, but it's the current week that this episode is coming out. On Monday, I'm launching this ridiculous campaign of getting 10,000 followers on TikTok in 30 days. And essentially just, I've set up a game plan. I have different things I'm doing. You've already seen them because it's Thursday of the week. So I've probably posted at least 2 or 3 videos, but some of the concepts that I'm doing, like this card with Kylo being animated by AI, is a big part of it. The AI generator that I use to do that thing, and how crazy some of the AI stuff is, it's getting a little bit out of hand. Have you seen I've shown you some of the pictures of Kylo, and I know you said you try to use ChatGPT, and I've asked some of my kids about it.
Oh my God. I've been sitting in we're at capacity right now. We'll let you know when your spot's ready for days. So
for the ChatGPT?
Yeah, I guess it has a capacity of a certain amount of people, and haven't been able to get in. I get bored, and then I just block off. So
yeah, well, if you're not familiar with like what that is, I feel like most people are kind of coming on board with what it is. I'm gonna probably not explain this in the best way, but in a general sense, the way that it's a AI software essentially where you could type in some type of prompt, and let's say the prompt is like write a paper about Batman through the voice of Donald Duck, and it'll just like write you a paper almost instantaneously about that story. And it's not as controversial, but it definitely is a little controversial because kids could use it for school. But it's just crazy what that thing's able to do. So hopefully you'll do it again, and you can give me some.
I know I want to try it out, and I have no papers to write right now, so I would just be writing stupid stuff.
Cody on their podcast, they did one with the Tom Hanks's son, and they did a skit. And it was really funny, but they did a skit. There's 3 of them, and they typed into GTP. They typed in create a prompt, something like in a car, whatever. It was like a script, and it ended up being there's 3 guys in a car, and there's a funny smell that happens. So it basically created a script where Cody's got his own line, and then Tom Hanks' son has his own line, and then Noel has his own line, and they just go back and forth, and it was pretty solid, and it just generated on its own. Yeah, I was like, that's been pretty funny.
I bet. I mean, I think this is like the first version of this like type of AI that's like at a really high level, high functioning level. Because normally it's like chaotic to read and it doesn't really make sense. But I think this one is like the one that's gonna sort of change the game for AI and AI generated things.
Well, I saw a TikTok last night, and a guy, I don't think it was just ChatGPT. He used different AI software, and it was creates advertisement for a donut shop, and he did it gave him pictures for this donut shop, and they were really, really cool looking. And then there's some text as far as like the program, the promo and the marketing, and then he did also a generation of like a name for it. So basically, he created a business through AI that seemed insane. It was like, this is really well done. Yeah, it's almost it's like cheating. I mean, just like this card here with Kylo on it. And if you're just listening, essentially, I kind of made a Pokemon looking card with an AI generated picture of Kylo with all the QR codes for our social media, because usually the issue isn't so much that people don't want to follow it. That's just, I'll tell them about it and they just forget to look it up. So if they have a little card, they can just scan it. And it looks really well done because it looks like I drew a cartoon of him or animated him like a Pokemon. And it took me just to put it in an AI thing. It's like, what the heck? It's like cheating the system. It's convenient for me.
Yeah. What is the 1,000 at the top? So you have it says 1,000J at the top right, and depending on like what kind of card games you're into, that can be a spot for different things. Like Pokemon, that's their health.
Yeah, using HP.
Like Magic cards, that's like how much the card costs to play. So like, what is it?
I wanted to put something in that section. So I mean, I definitely loosely base this thing off of what it looks like off of a Pokemon card. Like it definitely it has the same style. And usually it says like 100 HP in that section. So I was like, I got to put something, but I don't want to completely copy it where it just says HP. So J stands for joules.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought it would be. That's straight up. I was like 1,000 joules, like the power level, right?
Yeah. That's his energy level, or his power level is 1,000 joules. So
all right.
That's something simple, but it's effective. And I showed some of the kids at the gym yesterday, and like, oh, this is really cool. And it cost me to make to make a sheet of them cost me like $1.50, and I'm just gonna be giving
that's
out.
Not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad at all.
It's fun. It's my one of my original ideas, just like the duck thing. It's another original idea that is fun, creative, and promo for the gym.
That's the second card you should make. Duck.
What's that? A duck one? Yeah. I've had requests to make duck stickers. For some reason, the duck stuff just sticks. Everyone likes ducks for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, ducks are cool.
Ducks are cool.
I got mine. I keep it sitting here all the time.
So many. The kids have seen the Batman one that you have and I have, so we both only have that one. And like, I'll trade you something for your Batman duck. And I'm like, no, the Batman duck stays. This stays with Cole and I. No one's getting a Batman duck.
Here's what you do: you make a third one, and then you trade it with them. Just scam them.
Well, jeez. It's actually kind of hard to get your hands on those ducks. So I think they originally came out at like Five Below or Target.
Okay.
And they don't really make them anymore. I think it was part of a collection. So it's actually kind of difficult to get them. You have to go through, I got those from eBay or something, and they have different colors of the Batman ones, but I like the Batman one. It's pretty cool. It is cool. Okay.
There's a tangent there.
It was a tangent. ChatGPT, AI generation, it's all going to be an interesting direction where all that stuff's going to go. I know it can help out with some business stuff for me, like it already has with that. I mean, there's no way. I mean, back in the day, if I wanted a picture like that of Kylo, I would have to either draw it or pay someone to do it. And it's like, oh, I can use the software to do it. And
well, that's definitely part of the controversy now is AI generated art and just like the ethics of that, and like artists not making money, and not saying you are not in the wrong by any means, but there are people that are upset by it. There are some people that are like, why are you upset by it? I've watched a couple videos, and it's interesting because some people are saying that the AI is stealing like art because all of their art is inspired by certain art. Because if you put in the like whatever, draw a house with whatever artist as the like type of art that you want, Picasso in Picasso's style, and they're saying that's like sort of property stealing because the AI is drawing in a certain style. But then the other half of that argument is like, well, all art is based on other art and inspired by other art, so how is it stolen? But it's a really interesting debate that's happening right now because,
it's definitely interesting, and you can think about it from this standpoint too. Okay, we're talking right now mainly images or writing text, and this would be kind of from the standpoint from you. What if AI all of a sudden can generate music? As far as like that's, as far as a producer goes, it's kind of taken away from their jobs, but then people have to also create the software. I don't know, but like, I've heard one, I guess ever since I've been researching this stuff, my TikTok just keeps throwing more AI videos. But that was one thing they're talking about. They're like, all right, well, I can create a beat through AI. And now, I mean, I can do it right now, to be honest. Like if I wanted to have some kind of different audio intro for this podcast, just type it in. Boom. I want an intro. I want it to be this, this, and this. And then actually that might not be a bad idea to start doing some more, some different audio. But most of the stuff you do have to pay for if it's well done. Like this one, for example, the AI generator, you have to sign up for a year. So it was like it was like an app. It had like 4 or 5 stars in the App Store with a lot of good reviews. But you had to sign up for a year. I did a 3-day trial. And then I think after the 3-day trial, if you wanted like a year access to it, it was like $24, not anything crazy. I stopped my trial, and then I paid for the trial. If you did like the free pictures, they were terrible. Like they were like almost unrecognizable.
Yeah.
But these were more or less, I paid like $5 for like 112 pictures.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. Gotcha. But it's like so kind of crazy cheap for the quality of what they look like. It's like, that's not bad. $5. It was on sale. I had to do it. Made the project way easier.
Yeah, but I think that's definitely going to be the debate going forward about this type of technology, is just how ethical it is. And like people want to know the sources that they're entering into the AI, because that has some impact on the rights of people and how they're getting those sources. Are they public domain sources? Are they private sources that they're just pumping into this AI? So that's what people kind of want to know.
Yeah, because then it can end up being wherever that source is coming from. This is when you kind of get into misinformation talk. It's like, well, the AI told me this. It's like, well, that's actually not correct. Where to get that source?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's another area of concern. Is just like, where they're getting the information from.
Yeah, it's a fun but slippery slope. I think it's interesting. I like some of that stuff. I sent you the liquid buttons thing.
Dude, I still don't get it. I was reading up on it, and not even a little bit. I don't get it.
I don't know. When you like future tech, sometimes when like, oh, we're developing this and it comes out, sometimes it can miss, it doesn't mean it sounds cool. It could be something that goes in, but essentially if you think about the keyboard on your phone, it's always kind of been the same. You just like touching the screen, but apparently coming out soon, they're already having incorporated in some of the iPad stuff. It's liquid buttons where essentially you almost are typing and it's like they use microfluidics technology, which drives small amounts of liquid into like invisible pockets that rest over the typing pad on a smartphone. So when the user brings up the touchscreen, the keypad, the keyboard, the pockets like fill up with liquid, and then it changes the way the buttons feel. So it's almost like you have a keypad that's like raising up on. Yeah. I was like, I mean, it's cool.
Okay,
so it like raises it up. So like you're typing on your keypad here, right?
Yeah.
It would, I mean, how frustrating would it be instead of having your keyboard for your computer, you just
like
had
a flat.
Yeah. Right. Where now if you take it in the other direction with the phone, not that it would be annoying, maybe it will feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That seems like a lot of work for such a non-issue.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's not an issue. It's just like, all right, we're gonna make something. Well, that's where like Apple brings that out, and now they can finally make a phone that's actually more different than it was with just changing the camera in a sense. Liquid buttons.
Oh, I agree that Apple, the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I feel like they throw in a processor that they say is faster and a better camera for the last 3 iPhones, and expect people to like want them. And maybe their sales are good. I have no idea. I haven't looked, but I haven't thought about a new iPhone since I got, I think I have an 11 now, 11 something. And so I haven't thought about a new iPhone since then. Are they on 14 now? 15? What are they on?
I think it's either 13 or 14. I think I have the 13 Pro Max. I tell you, I got a new phone, I guess, about a year ago. There's a couple of reasons I wanted it. I use this cinematic mode on it for several things. It just allows me to blur out the background and have better quality video, like for the gym. But the biggest thing that's incredibly just nice to have is the battery life. When your phone doesn't die at all, no matter how much you're on it, that's when the upgrade's like, all right, I just care about the battery life.
It is nice. It is nice, but yeah, it just depends on how easily you can upgrade, I guess, too. Like, it's not worth it if it's gonna be a hassle to go and upgrade, But yeah, I'm excited for, I don't know, something different to happen for iPhone and Apple and stuff. I feel like they've kind of been sitting here for a while.
They're definitely working on something, right?
Yeah.
There's going to have to be a drastic change, and that could be in the sense of more wearable devices. So I know the Google smart glasses are going to be the smart glass concept of just like wearing more AI tech, or just not AI tech, but just more technology as your, like, you look at Apple Watches. A lot of people wear Apple Watches.
Yeah.
Where's that going? It's going to go somewhere next. Yeah. Or holograms. We were promised holograms. Where are the holograms? Come on. How prevalent are those going to be? Or, I don't
know. The Google Glass has been like, it has been hyped up for at least 10 years now. Yeah. Like, they've been talking about this piece of technology for so long, and they acted like it's going to be this big, like, thing to take off. And I feel like no one really owns one. And I get that it's expensive, but like, iPhones are $1,400 or whatever crazy price. And I saw Google glasses for, I think, $750. Like, that's the price of an iPad. So I wonder why people aren't getting it. Like, is it not good enough? Is the technology just kind of boring? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everyone wants that much stimulus going on. So have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie The New Guy? Or it's with Ryan Reynolds. Dang it, I can't remember the name of it. He's basically based in a computer game, and he doesn't know that he's a computer avatar. And then
yeah. I know that movie you're talking about. I haven't seen it, but
It's really good. If you haven't seen it, it's a good one to watch. I enjoyed it. But in that, because he's in a video game, a lot of the world is augmented reality.
Yeah.
So when you look at the Google glasses, how far is that going to go? Where like when you're walking around and let's say you like turn and look at a business and their Google reviews pop up, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to swipe for their 5-star. Like
sick.
Stuff. It would be cool, but then how much would you want that? Like, how much stimulus do you want? I know I already look at my phone too much. It's like, okay, now I'm going to throw some glasses on where it's constantly there. We'll see, but it's like, whoo, that's a look. Right? Augmented reality is going to be. We'll see how far it goes.
Yeah, and I don't even know like what I would want to see instead of what I see. You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna throw out the window that like I want to be in real life? Like, just like a life-size dinosaur. Oh, that's cool. And then
I mean, I think Yeah, in a very like just like walking around sense, I'm kind of like whatever. But then when you get to like video games, that's when it's like, okay,
it'd be sick. Yeah,
I would want to immerse more into it with like VR or that would be cool. Or augmented reality games. That's what I'm fine. But I don't think I want to walk around all the time and just see stuff popping up and like,
I
mean, different interactive areas. I don't know. I don't. And a lot of times the tech conversation when you're having them initially, people are like, I don't know if I want that. I don't think that sounds stupid. And then when it comes, it's like, oh, it's like, oh, this kind of works. I'm kind of cool with this. It depends.
Yeah.
You never know.
That is true.
You never know until it exists.
Have you played much VR video games?
I haven't played any at all, actually.
Really?
I would like. No, I know. I haven't done any of the VR stuff. Have you?
Yeah. My roommate in college got one, a whole VR setup, and we would play different stuff. I mean, some of the games look like actual trash, and that's because they're new video games to this type of format. So it's like. I mean, it's like you're on the PlayStation 2 again, you know, like it's still developing, right? But some of them, I'm very impressed with what they look like and just like the controls and stuff. The other day I played a Resident Evil game on it. And I mean, it was scary, very immersive. Yeah, and like the mechanics of it worked really well. You had a gun and a knife, and it wasn't like I was aiming here and my hand was like way down here. So like it worked really well. So
yeah, actually, this is gonna be we're on video games, and I have to go here because I'm super excited about it. And the new Harry Potter game comes out.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Okay, so
I'm gonna lock myself in my room. Like
I've watched, I guess, like 2 or 3 kind of preview videos. So several streamers or YouTubers, they got Warner Brothers. I think it's Warner Brothers, or I can't remember who's the developer.
Yeah, it's Warner Brothers, and I just
Avalanche,
looked it up.
Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche.
And
well, I'll talk about that in a second. You go.
And I watched 3 previews yesterday, and let's just say, as of now, the hype. They're like, this is cool. And they only got to play for like 2 hours, and I saw it. The map looks crazy. They said the movement's good. You can fly in a broom. You can swim. The whole swimming thing. Like, oh, you can swim. Like everyone's excited. And I'm like, I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Yeah, if you're watching you should go watch from the previews. And it's like one of the first things they talk about in every single episode.
Why?
But as of right now, it's looking good. And if it is, I'm the same way. I'm gonna like a whole weekend of just like, we're in. We're not going to fight over it. It looks the mechanics of movement and all the stuff you can do. My brother said that I think there's 100 side missions you can do. 100, which is perfect. But yeah, sorry, what were you going to say? But yeah,
it's just if you look at that developer, Avalanche Studios, the last thing they did was like a Chicken Little game, and like a little bit of an upgrade, like a Cars the movie video game. Like they've done a lot of animated series video games, and it's like I don't know, it makes me wary. But
yeah,
they spent about 5 years on this game, so that does make me feel better.
Yeah, hopefully they troubleshooted through all the nonsense and they really do a good job, and I'm excited. I don't think it's gonna flop. I hope it just is way up here, and I don't want to keep on video games, but I finished God of War.
Good.
Well, I finished God of War. I've played probably over 100 video games in my life, and I texted my brother that I finished it because he'd beaten it months ago, and I was like, without a doubt, hands down, the best game of all time. And he said the same. He goes, I agree. It's unbelievable how good that game is. I can't give it any, like, there's nothing about it that I would like. I'm just like, it's a masterpiece of a game. So if you get a chance, it's
a raving review.
It was unbelievable. I've never played a game where I'm like, I mean, I'm already, and the nice thing about it is I've beaten it and there's a couple other side stuff to do. And I get to go back and do some really hard stuff now that just like the game's over, the story's over, but I can go back and I'm going to probably go ahead and I think it's called like platinum it. I'm going to beat all the challenges, I think, because I want to. And there's these berserkers, and the first one I fought took me about 30 minutes to like put everything together to do the timing. Yeah. So I didn't get it. Was a lot of fun. So best game of all time, hands down.
Sick. See, but you know what's going to be cool is when they develop a VR version of God of War just that is at the that is at the same like level, you know.
That would be intense to be sweating everywhere. Some of the mechanics of that. We shall see where it goes. Video games would be interesting.
But
yeah. Would you eat 3D printed food?
No.
Like if they came with the technology where they were able to mechanically and molecularly completely create 3D printed food, would you eat it?
I'd watch someone else eat it first.
I would see after 5 years of other people eating it. If that becomes if that becomes a thing, that's just it's something like Spy Kids. Remember that? Have you watched Spy Kids, right?
Yeah, love Spy Kids.
The Spy Kids scene where he was at McDonald's fries, he throws it in the little thing in the microwave and turns it, and then it turned.
Yeah.
Spy Kids. If you haven't seen Spy Kids, go see Spy Kids.
Look at that. There's a 2-story home that has now officially been 3D printed in the U.S. in Texas. The printer weighed an enormous 12 tons. It just feels like such a waste of time. Like, what are we doing? Why is that an advancement for us?
3D printing stuff? I mean, you gotta, I think you can make the structure of just like, it's like one piece. I don't really know. I don't know enough on it.
That would be the only thing that would make sense to me. Like a one piece home where it's not like a built things that can break, but it's one solid piece does seem effective in a certain way, like a seamless home.
And it might actually be way faster too than people actually building. I think the speed of doing a 3D printer is faster, but I think I
feel like, and maybe this is wrong, but I just feel like I see TikToks all the time. Someone like, look at the thing I printed. It took 15 hours and it's like this big. So maybe that's the size of the printer and the software and whatever. But like, I don't know. Feels like a whole home would take many months, too many months.
I guess it depends on how the size of a printer. I'm not allowed to, I won't allow myself to get a 3D printer because if I did, I would just it would just be so much nerdy stuff, just like in the office. I'm like, today I'm printing a miniature Blastoise, and tomorrow I am printing a sword. Like, just like it would be bad. Well, and half the time, or not half the time, but a lot of times I'll see those videos on TikTok with the 3D printers, and it's like, oh, I left it alone and it messed up, and then it's like crazy. Like if it messes up one little thing, it's just like chaos of plastic or whatever everywhere.
Imagine 90% into building that home, it just started glitching out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have to have someone sitting there or whatever. Because if it messes up a little bit, obviously you can just go back. Hopefully, in that situation, the way they set it up. But like if you just let it keep going, then you gotta, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I do get the appeal of like a one piece home, but like, I don't know. It kind of looked ugly. It looked like all of the 3D printed stuff that you'd seen where it's just like a layer of plastic over and over and over again.
Well, I think NASA uses it for certain pieces that they need to have as one piece. So there's not like bolts and different structures, but then the integrity of the structure is different based on how long it is. But I think NASA definitely uses it for but a house is just so massive. That would be crazy.
Okay. I saw this. All right. This is a tangent here. I saw this point. Someone made this Okay, do you know how much spaceships cost?
No. Billions?
Yeah. $50 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? This might be controversial, but why are we spending that money? Like, space is cool, but like 50 billion, dude?
I'm so excited you asked me this because I have an answer for you.
You ready? 50 billion?
Well, that's one of the first reasons that Elon Musk is doing the rockets that return. So they return.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons. So they're making space travel more affordable. Another thing is the balloons and stuff that's going up into space. A lot of people actually they've been into space, but they haven't left Earth's atmosphere in the sense of they've gotten far enough away.
Yeah.
So only really the people that have gone to the moon have actually really gone to space. It's kind of it's weird to say like, well, I'm an astronaut.
No, I know what you mean.
They're still in the stratosphere. So to answer your question, why are we spending that much money? This is kind of an existential crisis answer to the question because of the planet now has a limited amount of resources. So eventually there has to be a point in which we go to other planets. So you said you were going into a tangent. I was about to take it into relatively this similar tangent. So this was perfect.
All right, great.
I was watching a video with Neil deGrasse Tyson on interstellar travel.
Okay.
And essentially explaining the closest exoplanet, which is Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri is the closest planet to us that we believe can be habitable for life. So it has
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Parameters that potentially life could be on it, could exist, or we could live on it. That we think.
Yeah.
Alpha Centauri is 4.1 something light years away. So essentially, when traveling at the speed of light in a vacuum, it would take you 40 years to get there. The fastest man-made object that is currently in space or that has ever been in space that we have or we know of is traveling at 640,000 miles per hour currently, or is about to be at that speed.
It's pretty fast.
At that speed.
I mean, it's not that fast, but
well, yeah, think about this is going to at that speed. So I said the speed of light takes 40 years to get to Alpha Centauri. At that speed, 640,000 miles per hour. How long would you think it would take to get to Alpha Centauri?
The speed of light is like a lot of zeros. So I'm going to go with we'll just go with 1,000 years.
6,000 years.
Yeah, there it is.
So it's the reason spending that money is because eventually there's going to have to be in the future of humanity traveling to different planets and whatever, mining asteroids and different things for resources or whatever it is. So if it doesn't start now, when will it start? And when you create competition in that setting of what they're doing, like Elon Musk is doing and Bezos and some of the other stuff, competition creates a price decrease. So over time, it won't be as much money. So but you have to start it eventually.
Yeah, I get that. I just feel like that's not even what they're concerned with right now. Like programs like NASA. I just feel like that's not what they're working toward. Maybe I'm wrong, but that does not feel like what they are working toward. And I don't understand why the government is just throwing money at it. I love NASA. I think NASA's sick. I think space is sick. But like, you could also do other things.
Yeah, no, I don't know what their underlying situation is, whether it's that or not. I mean, I think that's in the back of their mind that's something that's needed to be done to travel to different planets and become a planetary species in which we go to different planets and exist on other planets. But another part of that conversation, and it was in the same video. I love this video. It was like 12 minutes long. That speed, right, is the speed limit of what we believe exists. As we talked about this before, the speed limit of how fast we can go, right?
Yeah.
If that is true, then you're scratching the mic.
Oh, are you serious? You can hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Dude, I'm like...
Yeah, I know. It just picks up on the mic.
That's crazy. Wow. I was like, this is a real dramatic pause.
No, long dramatic pause, or he is frozen.
No, I could tell you were like subtly moving, but I was all right, continue.
Okay. Traveling at the speed of light would take 4 years. That's a long time to be on a spaceship.
It is a long time.
even if you're traveling at that speed. So that's a limiting factor. How can we get to the technology to travel at that speed? So if that is not true, then you have to get into the situation or the equation that could absolutely change everything that we know about space travel, and that is wormholes. If you can create a wormhole, fold space and time on top of each other, then essentially you can travel instantaneously to one point in the galaxy. And I believe mathematically or theoretically, a wormhole is a theoretical possibility that actually can be done or can exist. So
okay. Seems
those
sick.
are, you have to like weed through all of the, like, it's technology is kind of, as long as there's not like any crazy thing that happens that slows the process down, technology is always going to be kind of progressive in a sense. So you kind of have to figure it out. And it's definitely interesting. That's the videos I watch when I'm eating lunch. Wormholes and interstellar speed and travel. Yeah.
That's my beef with NASA today. You're useless.
Wormholes?
You're useless. Oh, sorry. Maybe not.
You don't like them? They heard you, dude. They're going to come find you.
I like NASA, though. Like, their branding, they've really done a great job of marketing themselves. Like, their logo, sick. So cool. You know?
You ever watch that?
Who hates space? Nobody. But also, spending too much money.
Spending too much money. Put it somewhere else. The Steve Carell show. Have you watched that show? It's what is it called? I can't remember. It's not very good though. Unfortunately, it's just not. Lauren and I we're not going to watch anymore. I don't think. It's kind of cheesy. They really tried, but it wasn't very good. But yeah, space travel. That's what it is. There's also a documentary that just came out, and we eventually might have to talk about this because I think it's fun. Is the Egyptian period, the pyramids and stuff like that, or Atlantis? There's
the aliens that built them.
No, not specifically. Not specifically that.
We could talk about that. But go ahead.
Eventually, we should. I think that would be a fun to talk about because there's several documentaries that are coming out now. There's 2 of them that came out on Netflix. One of them is Ancient Civilizations or something like that. It's pretty interesting. Some of the stuff the guy talks about, he's kind of controversial, but again, still interesting, I think, to listen to. And then there's another one. The guy talks about Atlantis. And that one's interesting as well. Some of the newer research or investigations they're putting into some of this stuff and figuring out more in hindsight of what was previously thought as far as the technology or the stuff they created in order to drill some of these holes. And it's crazy. But yeah. Do you want a jetpack?
Yeah, of course I do.
We were promised jetpacks and we never got a jetpack. I asked my adults that the other day.
You know what? NASA can spend $50 billion on their spaceships. I'm going to spend all of the cash I have on a jetpack. All right.
I asked my adults this past week because I feel like that question always get brought up because their generation watched I watched a little bit too, the Jetsons, and they had like their jetpack and their robot. And I asked, and one of the responses was, it was really funny. I don't know if Angie listens to this, but Angie goes, "Weather permitted." I go, "What?" She's like, "If the weather outside is appropriate, yeah, I'd love to have a jetpack." And I was like, such a weird concern. And I think now in hindsight of me saying that, I think she literally said that because I always joke how talking about the weather is not appropriate small talk. So we should never,
That's
jokingly
funny.
talk it's cold out. So I think now in hindsight, she actually threw out a really good joke. Weather permitted. That was solid, Angie.
Yeah, but
jetpack.
That's such a meta joke. I'm sorry. Like, to go from I hate talking about the weather to then joking about talking about the weather, and then you just always talk about the weather.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
It's too long. It's too much. Just stop.
We don't do it all the time.
It is funny. I do like the bit. I like the bit.
We have a running bit.
You do.
Yeah. Jetpacks or Amazon with their drones that potentially. Can you imagine if Amazon? That would be nuts. If you know how many drones would be in the sky?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Amazon delivery people that have their jetpacks and they just like float to your front door and
they just have satchels like Santa. That's how they deliver stuff now. Not drones. Amazon people on jetpacks. That would be sick.
I think that'd be so sick. Although, like, you look out your window and it's just like a face like going down.
You know how annoyed the dogs would be if they had the drone, like the drones Amazon are doing? I don't think they thought about that. A drone flying close to our front door, Kylo would lose his mind.
Yeah. Well, you've heard, I mean, there was like lawsuit or something because the drone just like dropped somebody's package from like 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, it's because like how low can they get to the ground and it be safe? And it's a drone with propellers.
And it's not manned. Like no one's controlling it, right?
Yeah, I think it's just
they just go to the Google Map location or whatever, right? And then drop it off.
It has sensors. How low can it get to drop it? As far as I don't know. It'll be there's a lot of troubleshooting there, but I don't think there's maybe the dog thing. Maybe we need to let Bezos know about it. Hey, my dog's not going to like flying drones going on.
No.
I already see hundreds of Amazon vans, and they're only going to be able to carry one package. Then maybe that'll be like limited delivery or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. Crazy stuff.
Maybe they should offer a service where you can choose how it's delivered to you. Maybe for an extra charge. So then you can get some really funky stuff, like the Jetpack Man going down.
That's the option. Would you like it by van? Would you like it by a Jetpack Man? Or would you like it by a drone?
Drone.
Jetpack.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I think that's good. Because you know what? Some days I would probably just buy something just to choose Jetpack Man.
Yeah. Well, you just go start working at Amazon for a little bit just to have some fun. Just fly a jetpack around everywhere.
That's true.
The airspace would be crazy.
You know, I actually did work at Amazon.
Yeah?
Yeah. Never worked there.
Yeah, but you didn't have a jetpack. So if you had a jetpack, it would be different.
It's true. But yeah, I'm a hater. Don't work there.
Don't work at Amazon.
It was just like a big warehouse, and you weren't allowed to listen to music, and I had a 10-hour shift. So all of those factors are not good.
I think back to the time in which I didn't listen to podcasts, and I'm like, what did I do when I walked around? Or what did I do when I was like, it's one of the first things in the morning, Lauren typically is playing, she'll be playing music. And then I typically just have a podcast running. What did I do with my thoughts?
I know. You were alone with your thoughts.
I was alone with my thoughts. But I feel like I think more now, even though I listen to stuff, because there's constant, I don't know, but I always have something on. I have to. It's a non-negotiable.
Yeah. Last thing I want to talk about is flying cars. When is that happening?
The last thing that I saw on flying cars, which is not that recent, I don't think, but 6 months within the past year, is I think the first thing actually that is going to come isn't going to be flying cars. I think it's going to be like basically drone cars.
So unmanned? Is that what you're saying?
You can get into it, and it's just a big drone.
That's so weird.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that's the last thing I saw. Some of the issues that you have with flying vehicles is just
like propulsion.
Well, with the wind, it's just the wind. Like if you have a bunch of cars flying near each other, there's like this, like you're just going to get like, and then if you have propellers as well, there's a lot of wind disruption that's going to mess everything up.
That's fair. I just need like a Futurama. Have you ever seen Futurama?
Yeah.
I need that vibe, just like the cars shooting past.
Well, that's where it's like the more efficient way of moving at higher speeds is actually underground. And that's where Elon Musk has started doing his little tunneling thing in California, which the whole thing is crazy. It's mainly because of the issue with traffic. And then you also have to drill the holes. But essentially, I think what is being done is you have like a tube, and I don't know if you drive your car into it. I don't even know. That's what it is. You drive your car onto like a sled, and then they kind of vacuum seal the space in so that it's a vacuum, so there's no air resistance. And then that sled is on like magnets that are opposite gravity, or not gravity, opposite gravity.
Yeah.
We wish. Magnets. The magnets are pushing against, so it's on this like railway, and then they just launch it at high speeds through the railway, which is your underground, which is kind of terrifying, and you're moving at high speeds on magnets. But
yeah, it just sounds like a glorified subway. Like, just make a subway at that point.
You can't move fast in a subway. We want to move fast.
You can if you do the same technology, just with the train.
It's true. You're sitting at high speeds. You got to put your head against the back of the thing. Your head's against the headrest. It's like, all right, we're going to launch off at 100 miles an hour in 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it. I want a flying car. I want to make it be like the Jetsons, you know. And I don't care if it's unsafe. That'd be the way to go out, you know. Flying car
or jetpack. Yeah. What's I don't know. I think
which one would you prefer? Flying car or jetpack?
It's kind of like asking if I'd rather have a car or a motorcycle. I feel like just the jetpack would be fun, just like a motorcycle would be fun, but I'd rather be safe. So I'm going to take the car. I take the flying car.
I guess that's fair.
And you can fly your friends around.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Everyone get in the car. We're going to go fly somewhere.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I prefer a flying car. All right, let's end this puppy here. As far as the 30 followers in 30 days, if you are not subscribed to all of Edge's stuff, if you're watching YouTube, it's linked below. We're going to try to get to 10,000 followers in 30 days. I wholeheartedly, the amount of time I put in this thing, it's going to happen. And there's a couple of little surprises along the way of new stuff I'm throwing in and some little twists that is going to push the content even further out, that the only way you're going to know about is if you follow the page, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's simple. Just do it. It costs you nothing, and it really helps us out in expanding Edge, growing this podcast. Cole and I potentially start making money from this podcast.
Right now.
Let's do it.
No, it's not about the money. Click it. That is nice, though. Click it.
It is nice, though. It's not about it. We would just want more people to be here so we can talk about silly things.
Bye.
All right, we're out. Bye.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants.